What is going on, guys? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Thursday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We have a smaller 5-game main slate tonight. Last night didn't go so well. The GBP team ended up cashing in tournaments. We had a lot of great production throughout, but it was a bad night to have Kevin Love rostered on every team. He really sunk all of my lineups on such a high scoring night. Our lineup still put up a bunch of points, but it just wasn't enough to cover the high scoring night. But we didn't get a complete goose egg. The GBP team, like I said, did well, but let's focus on tonight. Let's get a nice bounce back here and have all lineups cash in. Like this video, and make sure you're subscribed to get future videos. I appreciate you guys tuning in. So for this slate, there's a lot of studs, not a lot of great value, and not a lot of injuries or questionable guys we got to wait on. Things are always prone to come out close to lock, like around 5-6 Eastern. Guys can get ruled out for any scenario, so you got to keep an eye out. But as of right now in the early afternoon, there's not a ton of value or questionable guys that are going to open up value. But these 5 guys that I give you hopefully will help you build a nice strong base to your lineup. So let's jump right into it here with point guard Alex Caruso. He's not by any means a must play right now, but he's one of the guys that jumps out on paper to me at the guard position at 4,600. This Bulls and Clippers game should be a competitive game. He needs 22 fantasy points to hit value. More of a cash game play than a GPP play just because he's had a high floor. He plays a bunch of minutes. He starts. He hasn't been, excellent as of late, but he has that chance to really have a great game because he can rack up the steals and he can really contribute to every offensive category. Zach LaVine is expected to be back tonight, so that doesn't help his case. But regardless, Caruso stands out to me. And a guy in a similar spot who's much cheaper than him is Dasumu, or however you say his name, the other starting guard on this Bulls team who is cheap. He's a guy you could potentially look at too at almost minimum value. But Caruso's a good guy to look at as of right now. Shooting guards, go back to my Malik Monk play. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are both expected to be out again tonight, so expect the Lakers to rely heavily on Malik Monk scoring because Russell Westbrook, we've all seen him shoot the ball. It's not great. Monk is the number one offensive weapon on this team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis out, and you could see last game when they started him and played 32 minutes, he had no leash. He was putting up shots left and right, and he's a great shooter. He's scored 23, 23, and 28 real points in the last 3 games. So the shooting stroke is going well for Malik. He was only 5% owned a couple nights ago, and he was a main reason why we crushed. He's like the same price tonight at 5,800. He needs 29 fantasy points to hit value, and he's done that easily in the last 3 games, coming off of one of his better games of the year. There's a good chance that the Jazz could blow out the Lakers at home, but nonetheless, Malik Monk should see his minutes, and he should get his shots up. For small forwards, go back to Caruso LeVert. He's an automatic play tonight at 5,200. He's been seeing a bunch of minutes since his restriction got lifted a few days ago. 5,200 is just far too cheap. He should honestly be like 7,000, coming off of a great game against Dallas. 38 minutes last night, 32 points, 43 fantasy points. He only needs 26 tonight. He's the best play on this slate. There's really no question on it right now. Just lock him in and don't really think about Caruso LeVert tonight. He should be a staple and the first guy that you plug into all of your lineups on FanDuel tonight. For power forwards, go to Giannis. He's my favorite stud of the night. This Bucks and Nets game has a 243 over-under, and it's got a really tight spread. This is going to be by far the best game to follow and the best game to watch tonight. And Giannis has the chance to absolutely go off. 37 minutes, a massive 40 and 14 game for 75 fantasy points last game. At 11,900, he needs just under 60 fantasy points to hit value. He could end up being a very important piece on this slate just for the, raw points that he's going to bring your team. Expect him to get at least 55 fantasy points. He's done that in the last 5 games, and then he obviously has that 70 to 80 point upside. So he is, you're spending up the most on him, but you're getting what you spend for. He should have a great chance to crush the Nets tonight, because the Nets do not have a great defense. And like I said, this game has a massive over-under. Expect Giannis to really produce tonight. And then for center, I wasn't sure with the $100 difference on who to put in, either Vucevic or Gobert. Gobert is in a great spot too against the Lakers. The only risk there is a blowout, so maybe I put Gobert in GPPs due to that blowout risk. Vucevic doesn't really have a blowout risk. There's not a big spread in this game against the Clippers, and he's been playing really well as of late. A nice cash game play. I think Gobert has a higher ceiling, but a little bit more risk, which really puts him in that GPP fit. Vucevic, not as much risk and a higher floor. So he's a good cash game play tonight. He needs 37 fantasy points to hit value. He's done that in his last 4 games. And I don't see Zubats really giving him an issue. Vucevic is one of the better centers in the league offensively, and he's been scoring the ball really well as of late. So I like Vucevic against the Clippers tonight. That'll sum up today's video, guys. Let's have a nice night here on this 5-game slate. And until next time, I am the FD Guru, and I'm signing off. See ya.